I heard this somewhere. Have you ever asked a man, how does he feel? And he says, I'm fine. Well, I can truly assure you that that man is not well. That man is fighting battles against his internal demons like you cannot imagine. That man wakes up day after day, trying to find a single reason to stay standing, since as men think that no one cares how we feel. And like that man, I am fine. I would like to somehow ensure that what you are about to read was invented, a lie or a bad dream. However, it is not. My name does not matter. However, those who know me know that these situations that I have gone through are already daily in my life, and they have preferred to stay away from me to avoid experiencing them as well. You have been warned, and if you are still here waiting for my story, you will know why I have focused on saying, I am fine. I currently work in an office located very close to the center of my city. To be more specific, my workplace is very close to the train tracks. My work schedule gives me a small period of 1 hour of rest, in which I try to leave my office and look for a place to eat, or where I can relax. That was until one day, a couple of blocks from my office, I found someone I called Arjuna, or at least that's what she told me to call her. She was a girl from South America, I never knew which country. Her dark complexion, round eyes and long disheveled hair, barefoot with her black feet and uncut nails, and the smell, made it clearer to me that she had several weeks wandering around the surroundings. In addition to that, she stayed to sleep at the foot of the tree closest to my office. It was there where I met her. She asked me for food, extending his hand. I saw his eyes, which worried me a little, seeing them so big and round. I gave him a part of my food, and very grateful he devoured it in front of me. That's how the next few days went. I gave her half of my lunch at first, and as the days went by, I gave her her own lunch. She didn't speak. She just smiled, and one day, while we were eating together, she told me, "Call me Arjuna." She was a fairly comfortable company during my meal periods. I lost the fear of embarrassment of being seen sitting eating next to her in the shade of that tree. She was just eating, and I was next to her. Yes, there were times when I didn't go, on weekends, or a day, when I had a lot of work and didn't go out to eat. But this was particularly repeated around Christmas. The cold was strong, and due to the current pandemic, I wasn't showing up often to work in the office. I also found her from time to time, and when I didn't, I tried to leave her some food hidden in her balled-up blankets between the branches of the tree. I assumed she was in some shelter or in the care of someone else, since I hadn't seen her for a while. Until one day, I managed to meet her. I left my office desperately looking for something to eat, since it was already the end of the month and I had to close my activities. I found an open store and bought my food. It was when I saw Arjuna who asked me for something to eat, and I, desperate to eat something, pretended that I had a call on my cell phone, and I just gave her a sign asking for time. I turned around and walked away to return to my workplace to eat. The next day I had to return to the office to work in my place, and at lunchtime I went out to look for Arjuna. That's when I saw her lying under the tree, and when I approached, I apologized for not coming back and told her that I brought something to eat. She didn't get up. I told her that if she didn't wake up, I would eat her lunch. She didn't listen to me. Inside, I thought that she was upset and didn't want to talk to me, and so I came up with an idea to make her happy. I invited her to eat at a restaurant or, if she preferred, at my house. I didn't have a response. Already distressed by the lack of interest, I dared to shake her a little by her shoulder, and when I did so, I saw her face crushed on the sidewalk without emitting any breath. Her mouth swollen due to lack of water, a trickle of blood was showing. I let her go, scared, and as if in slow motion, I saw her face return to its original position. I didn't know that a day before would be the last day I would see her alive. I never imagined that that would be the last time I would see her standing. or that's what I thought. It's been 2 weeks now, and I would like to say that it is beyond my interest. However, Arjuna has not only constantly wandered through my mind, but also into my life. The first, if I remember correctly, I was at home, alone, late on a Sunday night. It was almost time to sleep so that I could return to the office the next day. I decided to have a beer and face the consequences of my migraine due to drinking alcohol. I approached the refrigerator, and when I opened the front door, I could see a pair of bare and filthy feet peeking out from under it. I lost my breath for a moment and tried to think things through, but both feet took a step back. I closed the refrigerator door and I didn't see anyone. I froze for a moment, holding the beer, staring at it with my head down. I was breathing heavily and slowly. Out of the corner of my eye on my right side, I saw how a silhouette was on one side. I turned in the opposite direction and went to my sofa. I put the beer on the nightstand, and that's when I saw those feet again, a little closer to me. Now there was no refrigerator door blocking my view. If I turned around, I would see her. I decided to ignore her again. Turning around to avoid making eye contact, I tried to uncover the beer, but it was very slippery, or I was shaking a lot. I finally managed to uncap it and take a sip. It was gone. After a few minutes, the effect of the alcohol had already begun to affect me. My head was spinning, and on the couch while I was looking at photographs on my cell phone, it was then that, out of the corner of my eye, on the side of my phone, I managed to distinguish that silhouette again. I wanted to observe more carefully, and it was inevitable to swallow saliva when looking at his dirty feet and long nails, like Arjuna's. A white robe of hers moved with the wind. I carefully and slowly looked up and saw her dirty hand. I sat up, avoiding turning to look at her, and turned on the television. I put the beer a little further away from the edge of the nightstand and at the same time placed the remote control to one side. That's when a strong flicker from the TV caused the signal to distort, and in turn I was left in the dark, leaving an intense red color on the entire screen. I only heard my uncontrolled breathing, and as if they were disheveled cobwebs, the hair of what seemed to be a woman descended in front of me. My breathing was labored. I couldn't move. I was frozen. That's when the red light from the television illuminated her face. She smiled at me and looked at me with those big round eyes. I couldn't scream. My voice didn't come out. I saw her while she smiled at me as best I could. I got away from there and left my house quickly. I would like to say that I have stopped seeing her. However, that is not the case. I still see her out of the corner of my eye. But that will be another story that I will tell later. You will decide if you believe me or not. However, I can tell you that it is a constant fight against these demons that do not let me rest, and I can only say, I am fine.